Welcome to the Marcus and Mike Coach, guys. I am Mike. My man over here to the left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Nice Tuesday morning here in San Antonio. Real sunny.
Yeah, it's getting hot. It's summertime. It's officially what third day of summer, I believe it is. So the days are starting to get a little shorter. So that
Yeah.
means basketball season has ended. NFL
Yep.
season is getting better, getting closer. All very exciting stuff. But last night, the awards ceremony did take place. Siakam was the most improved player. We didn't go over that at all. The one thing that kind of surprised us, I guess, was the Rookie of the Year. Luca did get the Rookie of the Year
Yeah.
Trey Young and DeAndre Ayton. Uh, I don't think anybody really had Ayton winning the award is between Trey and Luca there. So what are your thoughts on that right off the bat? Do you think Luca? I mean, obviously he
Right.
deserved it because we going back and forth on it. But do you think he should have won it?
Well, listen. I mean, Luca was deserving. Sure. I mean, he averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. That's fine. But he hit that rookie wall, and he wasn't better than Trey Young coming down the stretch or in the second part of the season. And Trey Young averaged 19 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. I think Trey Young had a better season. I'd rather have 19, 8, and 4 than 25 and 5. So and plus Trey also, we just mentioned, we talked about it yesterday. He hit the rookie wall with flying colors, and Trey Young ended the last 3 months of the NBA season better than Luca did. So I think Trey Young should have won the award. I don't know what the writers were thinking there. I mean, Luca got off to a hot start and he didn't maintain it, and Trey Young, you know, maintained his play and all the way through. And so Trey Young got better as the season went along. So I think Trey Young should have won the reward. Pascal Siakam, yeah. I mean, when you up your scoring average 10 points,
Right.
that's a big deal. The guy averages 17 points per game, Pascal Siakam, and yeah, that's the most improved player. That to me that was a slam dunk. Pascal Siakam is going to be, um, I think he's going to be like maybe a two-time All-Star in his career, maybe like a 12-year career. He's that type of player. He'll average 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe even 20 points a game the rest of the way here on out here for Toronto. He's a big time talent, and you saw that in the playoffs. So yeah, Pascal averaged 17 points a game I think last year. Then he averaged like 8 or something. So he upped his scoring average like 9 points or almost near 10 points or something. So that was easy. But yeah, going back to your question, I think Trey Young should have won the Rookie of the Year. He had the better season.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you there. I think we have to weigh team success a little bit on your individual awards because if your team isn't succeeding, people aren't seeing you play anyways. So
Yeah,
because of this, I think many people saw Luca play earlier in the year and they're kind of awed about what he did, and and then the Mavericks just fell off the map. Nobody even knew they were around anymore. What they got like 16 wins or something crazy, just like that.
yeah,
They were pretty bad, and then the Hawks were
hmm,
fighting for a playoff spot. So
yeah,
I think that alone, if you are mirrored, stat wise, you have to give it to the player with like a little bit more team success. And obviously, the Hawks had a little bit more team success there. The most improved player, Siakam. I was kind of hesitant on that because I thought Fox had a very improved year as well. Guys, De'Aaron Fox from my Kentucky team here, he is going to be an all star here next year. He is going to be a great player. He is going to lead the Kings uh, in a lot of categories.
yeah.
So look out for the Kings next year and De'Aaron Fox.
No,
The
De'Aaron Fox is a beast. Like,
Yes,
dude, he flies up and down the court. He's hitting threes. I mean, De'Aaron Fox has all the talent in the world. I mean, yeah. I mean, the only thing he may not have is like a 40-inch vertical or something, but I mean, he can jump pretty well. I mean, De'Aaron Fox almost has no weakness. Seriously, he's
yes.
that good of a player. You're right.
I would love to have him on my team year in and a year out.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year was Lou Williams from the Philadelphia 76ers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He surpassed 10,000 points this year as well. Um, so shout out to him for
Yeah.
becoming
That's that.
sixth man
That's
of the
well.
year.
That's well deserved. You seen Lou, man. You
Hmm.
saw what Lou could do in the playoffs versus the Warriors. If Lou had if Lou ever got it, if Lou ever teamed up with Kawhi Leonard, the Warriors would have been toast. So yeah, I mean, man, Lou is well deserved, and man, I even hate the fact that he's a sixth man, dude. That dude's a starter. I mean, the sixth man of the year award's always funny. I mean, Lou still gets 30 something minutes a night and ends the game, so he's really a starter. But yeah, I guess coming off the bench, okay. Lou Williams is really good, and I was shocked. He's already 32 years old, Lou Williams.
Oh, I did not know that. Like I thought he
Yeah,
was
I
at
was
least
thinking
only
he's like around
28.
yeah, somewhere around there. He's
Dang.
32 years old already, but yeah, he still has a few more good years left. So that would be great if Kawhi Leonard went over there and teamed up with Lou. Man, they'd probably be in the finals. Yeah,
Yeah, we can definitely get into that because
yeah,
that's not going to happen
yeah.
because the Clippers are going to be overrated like as always. Uh, just throwing it out there. But the house highlight moment of the year went to Derrick Rose when he scored I believe it was 52 points in a Timberwolves jersey.
Yeah.
Um, there was really no competition, and like in that, it was great
Yeah.
seeing him come back from all those injuries. Your coach Bud got the coach of the year.
Yeah,
Uh,
that he should have gotten that.
yes,
Yeah,
that was hands down. I don't
it's
think,
slam
yeah, I
dunk.
don't think there was any competition in that at all. And then the award of the night, I guess you could say, was the MVP. The Greek Freak did get the
Yeah,
MVP over Harden. I saw a stat somewhere where Harden has been up for the MVP in 2015, 2017, and 2019. He did not win the MVP any of those years. And one year it was because the player who won it in 2015 because he had the better stats. In
right,
2017, the team or the player that got it had more wins, and then this year
right.
it was because of the wins as well. So, what are your thoughts on the MVP? Obviously, we picked the Greek Freak
Yeah,
to win the MVP. He deserved it, I think.
right.
What are your thoughts on Harden getting snubbed for the third year?
Man, it doesn't bother me at all. I like James Harden too, by the way. I mean, God, he averages 30, what, 36 points and 6, 7 rebounds, 6, 7 assists a night. I mean, that dude's a monster. I'd love to have James Harden on my team. But Giannis is the winner here, and he deserved it. His team, from top to bottom, they started out the year great, and they ended the year great. I mean, they won 60 plus games, first seed, best record in the NBA, and then to me the most amazing stat, and it goes, and this is why Coach Bud got the award, and this is why Giannis got the award. Um, their team, I think it was like 50 plus games, beat the uh, beat the opposing team by more than 10 points. So imagine they won 50 plus games by double digits. I mean, that's insane. And that's Giannis and that's Coach Bud. And so, yeah, Giannis is the better is an all around talent. And if Giannis Antetokounmpo ever develops a jump shot, it's over. He'll be better than Kawhi Leonard. If he ever developed it where you can't leave him open from 22 feet, like, yeah, he's gonna yeah, he'll win. He'll have a couple of Finals MVPs to that resume as well. But he's got to develop a jump shot. But easily, he was the best player in the NBA last year, regular season wise. And then of course, Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the playoffs. But that's another thing. They should have a playoff MVP, and they
Right.
should have got Kawhi Leonard. But yeah, there you go. Giannis won that, man.
Yeah.
His team was
Hopefully,
too good.
hopefully he's listening to you and he's getting ready to work in this offseason to develop that jump shot a little bit. But like I said yesterday, it all depends of when everybody voted of who was going to win. And obviously, I think people waited till the end of the season to vote for the Greek Freak because Harden did have a damn good regular season until that last week. Like I don't know if he hit a wall, if he was tired, or like what. But sorry, the last 2 weeks or a lot.
Right.
So he kind of just fell off the map. But
And then the Houston team fell out a little bit. They were
right.
like a solid 2 seed,
hmm
and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're a 4 seed, and that doomed their season
I think all
because they
they
had
had
to
to
play
do
the
was beat the
Warriors.
Spurs, and they had the 2 seed lock, and they couldn't beat the Spurs. I mean, it was
And then,
just it
no,
was
and then
something crazy like that.
yeah, they
Yeah,
lost to OKC.
yeah,
Yeah, and that doomed their season because then they ended up playing the Warriors in the second round.
right.
So yeah, no, then he doesn't get the award. Then no,
Yeah. The only thing I see about that James Harden post that I saw earlier was they want some type of consistency out of the voters. Why are you voting for this guy? Is it based off of team success? Is it based off individual success? So like I think that's kind of what they were alluding to as well. And I mean like as a fan, I want consistency as well, but the player that always has the best stats don't always win the awards. The person that has 80 wins seasons doesn't always win the award. So um, just I think there's some haters out there, if you want to
Yeah,
say.
but but Giannis also had great stats. So
Right.
it wasn't like he did a Steve Nash and averaged 15 points and 11 rebounds, and then his team won 60 something games. No, Giannis had great stats to go along with the team success. And James Harden, they both had so even teams, and so yeah, I mean they I would give it to whoever had took their teams to the highest point, and Giannis Antetokounmpo did better than James Harden in that regard.
Yeah, and that's exactly to my point about the rookie of the year in the Trey
Yeah.
Young thing. He obviously had better team success, so I think he should have won the award. But
No.
deep down, deep honestly, Ben Simmons is depressed that he did not win the rookie of the year for the second year in the row.
Huh.
So just
Uh,
so guys, now that the award season is completely over, NBA season, the 2019 or 2018 to 2019 season is officially over. Now it is time for probably the most hyped offseason that has happened in a long, long, long time. We don't
yeah.
have LeBron James to talk about, but there are 10 or 12 players other that could definitely change the landscapes one way or the other, swing it to the left or swing it to the
Right.
right. So Marcus, I'm going to name you. I'm just going to throw you out some names here, and you are going to tell me where you think a perfect landing spot is for them, and then where you think they're actually going to end up. So the first one, right off the bat, I think the most talked about free agency or the free agent has got to be KAD. Where do you think he is going to land, or sorry, where do you think a perfect fit for him would be, and where do you think he's ultimately going to land?
It's a great question because the injury kind of puts a little, you know, asterisk on this, where could he go and all that. I mean, if I'm Kevin Durant, and obviously there's no way I could. I mean, the dude's. I would have never joined the Warriors in the first place, so it's kind of hard to figure out his brain. But man, I mean, I wouldn't go near the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they couldn't save me from myself. If I'm Kevin Durant. Like they were more about winning a championship than my injury. And so why would I even think about resigning with him? I wasn't going to resign with him. I'm speaking like I'm Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant wasn't going to resign with him anyway before the injury. So why, when I have the injury and they let me go out there and play, why would I even think about resigning with those guys? So I'm looking at and his friends Kyrie Irving. If we can sign with the Brooklyn Nets or the Knicks or what, but I'm out of there, man. And the Clippers, I think, are even going to court Kevin Durant as well. Um, if they lose Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors, the Clippers would sign Kevin Durant, knowing that he couldn't play the entire year. So that's a big man. That not him tearing that Achilles is big time. I mean, that the Warriors let him go out there knowing that that can happen. There's no way that they didn't know. Steve Kerr can say all he wants about they didn't think that could happen. It's baloney. And I think Steve Kerr lost. He lost me right there. Like really, like I don't really have that much respect for him, to be honest. That's just terrible. And so, man, I think a good landing spot, I would go wherever Kyrie Irving went. And if that's with the Nets, I'd go with the Nets. If that's with the Knicks, I'd go with the Knicks. I'd go to the Eastern Conference. Just like I'd want to see if I could do what Kawhi Leonard did. I'd take an Eastern Conference team, and I'd take him. And me and Kyrie would take him to a championship. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna see where Kyrie wants to go, and then I'd probably head there.
yeah, I see
That's
what you're
what I would do.
saying, and I understand what you're saying. Go out east, build your empire there, but he's not going to play the 2019-2020 season, like unless his team possibly makes a finals, and then I don't think he would even play any large factor
No, he wouldn't.
like for that team. So why not rehab in sunny California? Just re-sign with Golden State 1 year, stay in sunny California, enjoy the sun, enjoy the ladies. Like you don't have to worry about being cold and windy and all that snow and those. like up north, like forget all that. That will be there in 2020 and 2021 season when Kyrie is there, building a empire, and then you come join that empire, and then you lead it to the finals. Right now, just sign with Golden State, rehab in a beautiful state, stay warm. I mean, I would much rather be warm and injured than cold and injured. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, I just for me it's just a thing. I wouldn't want to be with that organization anymore. That I don't think he wasn't gonna stay. Everybody at Golden State knew he was leaving anyway. That's why they tried to use every ounce left in him. That's why they ran him back out there and said, "Oh, you're cleared to play," because they knew he was leaving, so they were gonna get the last Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so
you are right there, but
I think that's callous on their part, and I wouldn't join that team. I mean, to me, it wouldn't be about cold or anything. I'm just gonna get away from them.
right. So we will find that out. I believe
Yeah, we'll find out.
Saturday is like when he has to let Golden State know if he wants to sign with them or like or not.
Yeah, this Sunday,
Yeah,
Sunday at 6 p.m. or something
yeah,
starts free agency, and it goes into Monday, July 1st. So that it's gonna be fun to see.
right. And so the second probably most sought offer, actually, it might be a 1A, 1B type of thing,
Yeah,
right here. Kawhi. Where do you want him to go, and where do you think he should go?
I wish he would just stay in Toronto. I mean, I don't really want him out west because I mean he goes to the Clippers, and the Clippers will if that team stays intact like that, uh, you add Kawhi Leonard to that, and they'll be in the finals. They'll be the favorite to come out of the West. But I think I mean, the Toronto loves him. The city of I mean, the country, country of Canada loves him. The city of Toronto loves him. I mean, why would he just stay there? I don't. I think he should stay there. Maybe sign like a 2-year deal, um, with a 1-year option, and then he can be a free agent again next year. Sign like a 2-year, $55-60 million deal, and then he can just um, yeah, opt out next year, and then maybe join the Clippers next year. See what happens. But I think he's leaning towards Toronto now, and he hasn't said anything. It's either going to be Toronto or the Clippers. Let's be honest, it's Toronto or the Clippers. So, and if he leaves Toronto, the fans shouldn't be mad. The fans shouldn't be mad at all. He was traded there. He didn't ask to go there, and he delivered that city a championship. So if he decides the Clippers, those fans should say thank you, Kawhi Leonard. Thank you for your 1 year. If I was a Toronto fan, I'd always be wearing my Kawhi Leonard final shirt
Right.
because I mean he came, he saw, he kicked butt. I mean, dude, I wouldn't even be mad at the guy. I mean, how would how would you like if Kevin Durant was traded to the Pacers and he didn't ask to be traded to the Pacers? He didn't sign he didn't sign with the Pacers at all. He just got traded there, right?
Right.
And then he delivered y'all a championship and said, "Now I want to go play home and with Washington. He's from Washington. Now I'm going to go home to play." You couldn't be mad at Kevin Durant.
No.
He showed up and he didn't ask to be shown up. He wanted the Pacers a championship, and then now he's going home. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, Toronto shouldn't be mad when he goes to the Clippers if he goes to the Clippers. But I really think, man, the more this drags out, I think he's gonna sign a 2-year deal in Toronto with an option year. So next year, so you know what? Just run it back as they say when you play pickup basketball games. Hey, just run it back and see what happens.
Right.
And just for another year, give the city of Toronto, give the players he just won a championship one more year. Let's see if we can do it again. And if we can't, then I will leave. I think that's a good possibility of what can happen there.
Right.
So,
Just to add to your 2-year deal idea there, I read a report where Toronto could possibly offer him a 2-year, $70 million year. He would be kind of foolish to turn that kind of cash down with his quad injury that we don't really know what is going on, if it's torn or what. But he definitely was not 100% those last couple games in the finals. So I'm kind of curious of what's wrong with that.
Wow. See, so you just kind of maybe you threw a monkey wrench in there a little bit. I'll be honest with you. Only Kawhi Leonard and his uncle Dennis and the doctors know really about his injury that's been happening. It's an ongoing thing for the last couple of years. If just what you said, if there's a chance where he may not have a long NBA career, like this, everybody, like he may have to retire at 33 because this injury is going to be lingering. Because we saw in the series versus the 76ers and Toronto, he was more explosive, and then it got towards Milwaukee, he was good, and then he kicked butt in the Warriors series, in the final series, but he wasn't. He had like one monstrous dunk, and that's not Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard would have had 4 or 5 of those at least. So maybe he could still play the game. He didn't have the explosiveness. If there's a lingering injury there that the doctors have told him, there's no way he stays in Toronto if he wants to eventually go home.
Right.
So he can sign a 4 year. If I had that injury and the doctor said, hey man, you probably got 4 or 5 good years left, he is going to sign a 4-year, $164 million deal with the Clippers.
Yeah.
And that's all guaranteed, baby. I wouldn't even fool around with the 2-year, $70 million deal with Toronto.
Yeah.
I'd go ahead and get the full 164, and I'd go to LA right now if I had that lingering injury.
Yeah, I want him to stay in Toronto for a parity type of thing.
Yes.
I really want to see the Toronto's and Bucks series again. I don't want that circle the team. You can pretty much put them in like in the finals, and I think if he does go to any LA team, whether it be the Clippers or the Lakers, you can almost guarantee them going to the finals. Just go ahead and circle them because he is that good of talent.
Right. He's not going to the Lakers. There's a better chance of me going to the Lakers.
Well,
he's not going to the Lakers. There's no way. Kawhi Leonard is a type. You just saw him take a team with no other All-Stars except for Kyle Lowry, right?
Right.
And he's a dominant NBA player. Like, he's not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant couldn't take OKC to the finals. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't. He messed up at the end. Kawhi Leonard just took a Toronto team to the NBA. Like, there's no way he thinks he's a B. He thinks he's the best in the NBA.
Right.
He's not going to join up and add to. He's not Kevin Durant. He's not going to join up and add to LeBron's titles. That's just not going to happen.
I see what you're saying there. But speaking of adding to LeBron's titles, Kyrie Irving also has a decision to make before, I believe it's Saturday or a Sunday night. Where do you want him to go, and where do you think he'll end up?
I think where I want him to go is the Eastern. I want him to go to the Nets or the Knicks. I want him to join Kevin Durant. I really want to see if it won't be next year, but I want to see if a Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant led team can win the title. I want to see if those two are as good as Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. You want to see that? You know what I mean? Let's see if they get. I want to see that. I want to see them come out the East. I want to see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving come out the East and win a title and be as good as Kyle. I want to see if they can do that. The jury's out on that. Let's see if Kevin Durant can actually and Kyrie Irving can actually lead a team to a championship. With them, being the top two. I mean, Kyrie Irving did it already with Cleveland, but they had Kevin Love, which is pretty cool. Kevin Love wasn't a great transcendent player, but he was a heck of a player. But I want to see if Kevin Durant really, I guess not necessarily Kyrie Irving. I want to see if Kevin Durant can do it with Kyrie Irving. So I want to see Kyrie Irving I think he's going to the Nets, and or the Knicks. But I think I'm leaning towards the Nets on both of them. I've heard that there's people talking nobody's going to the Knicks. It's just a smokescreen. So I want to see them both go to the Nets. That would be fun to watch. To be where Kyrie Irving should probably go would be join up again with LeBron again and Anthony Davis. Then they would come out of the West. So, but I don't want that. But that's where Kyrie Irving probably should go, is to team up with those two. Get back with LeBron and Anthony Davis. But no, I think Kyrie Irving's a done deal. I think he's going to the Nets. And I think that's a good spot for him. The interesting thing on that though is if Kyrie Irving goes to the Nets and Kevin Durant decides to sign with the Nets, that the Nets can't bring back D'Angelo Russell. They can't be all max players. So right. D'Angelo Russell's going to not be re-signed. So D'Angelo Russell, now he could go back to the Lakers, and the Lakers will come out of the West. So there's a domino effect here that could happen here. On Sunday.
That's just to add to that, about what I believe it was 4 years ago, D'Angelo had a interview on ESPN, and they asked who his dream team would be if he could pick two guys to join. It would be LeBron James, and it was AD. So was he foretelling the future a little bit here? Who knows? But let me go back to Kyrie a little bit here. Where he should go is LA. If he wants to win right now, that's the place to go. but just like what you said, this is going to be a domino effect. If KD decides to stay in Golden State, Kyrie's not going to go to the Nets all by
Right.
himself. He is not good enough. He is not a talent that can carry a whole team on his back
Right.
for a year. And then he's kind of banking on KD. Hey, are you going to come? Are you going to come?
Right.
Are you going to come? And Kyrie is not young enough or that good of talent to do that. So if KD does not go to the Nets, Kyrie doesn't go to the Nets. But if they go to the Nets, I think D'Angelo will go to LA
Right.
or a team like Indiana Pacers that need some hard play as well.
Yeah.
They probably can't afford how much he is asking, but I would love to see him on an Indiana team.
Yeah.
So Kyrie, I want to see him in LA. Where he'll probably end up is in the Nets uniform. Pretty bad kept secret here. So congratulations, New Jersey or Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah,
you're calling
it's
yourself
funny is
now.
if Kevin Durant decides not to go to the Nets and he stays with the Warriors, Kyrie should go to the Lakers then, right?
Right.
But Kyrie might just be foolish enough to still go to the Nets anyway, and they're not going to go anywhere. I mean, they'll be good. I think they'll make the playoffs, but
Yeah.
they're not winning a title next year, no. And then it'd be the same thing. You just said it. He's going to be courting KD like to come the following year because, KD would just sign like that 1-year deal to stay with the Warriors or 2-year deal with the 1-year option.
Right.
So, I think Kyrie's foolish enough to still go to the Nets and not ever win a title.
And let's say Kyrie does go to the Nets and KD does stay home. I don't see any first round a team changing talent in college basketball this year. So even if the Nets were to tank this year, possibly get that first overall pick, that first overall pick would not change your team from the things that I can see from this past year. So
no, actually the draft is supposed to be better than this year's, but you're right though. There's no Zion Williamson right now. Right. I don't see it. But as far as top to bottom, the draft is supposed to be better next year for some reason. That's just the way these things are. I thought it was a pretty good draft this year. But no. If the Nets get Kyrie Irving, they're not tanking anything. You saw with how good the Nets were last year.
Yeah.
They pushed Philadelphia, pretty good last year, and Philadelphia to me had the best starting lineup in basketball.
Yeah, but if they do get Kyrie, that means D'Angelo probably has to go somewhere so they have room for KD this next year, or the
right.
Year.
But they still have that talent. They still have talent at the Nets that they're not. If you just substituted Kyrie and D'Angelo Russell, the Nets are still making the playoffs. The Nets are good.
Okay, so do you same question for D'Angelo? Where do you want him to go, and where do you think he'll go?
I think he has a good report with the Nets. I'd like him to stick with the Nets if Kyrie doesn't go there. Now, if Kyrie goes there, hell no, because he's too ball dominant, and D'Angelo Russell needs the ball in his hands as well. I don't think that'll work because they have Spencer Dinwiddie, and Spencer Dinwiddie needs the ball in his hands too. And Spencer Dinwiddie's a hell of a talent, man. Spencer Dinwiddie, dude, he's one of those guys. He's like a poor man's Kyrie, but and I don't mean him that. I don't want to do him that bad. He's one of those guys. Dinwiddie can take a team on his back and win 5-6 games in a row, and you can give him the ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock and say, "Hey, go get it, Spencer." He's that good. He and Russell and Harris, the other shooter, and LeVert from Michigan, they've developed a really good thing there. And so I'd like to see D'Angelo Russell stay if Kyrie doesn't go there and see what they can do in the future. Now, if Kyrie ends up going there, then D'Angelo Russell's got to get out of there and go join LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And then I think they could come out of the West easily. Unless Kawhi Leonard shows up with the Clippers, then it's going to be a Clippers-Lakers Western Conference final. That's what it's going to be if everybody stays healthy. So
the only thing I question is, does D'Angelo want to go back to LA after they traded him off in the first place? That would be my only question about that.
Right. No, I think he would because it's he's not going back to the same players really, except Lonzo Ball. He's showing up there, and it's a whole new thing. He's showing up there with Pelinka's now in charge there, Rob Pelinka, and he's showing up there with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So he's going to go through with them. It's like a new thing. He's not going back to, Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and and
Shaggy
Hart.
P or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not seeing Shaggy P. He might see Shaggy P at a nightclub and beat his ass, but he's not going to see him at practice. Yeah.
Yeah, so the next player on the list, Julius Randle for the Pelicans. He is not opting into his $9 million contract with the Pelicans. Where do you see him going, and where do you want him to go?
I'd love for him to go to the Spurs. That would be awesome. But I don't. He's going to command too much money. I don't. I think the New Orleans should keep him. Then they would have. I'll just go on a limb right now. If Julius Randle, were to re-sign with the Pelicans of what they have, they're a slam dunk playoff team. There's no way. Julius Randle is a heck of a talent. The Lakers should have never gotten rid of Julius Randle. I don't understand that at all. He would have worked wonders with LeBron James. Julius Randle is 6'8", 6'9", can run the floor like a deer. He can guard all 5 positions. He's one of those players that can. It doesn't matter who you switch him on. He can guard the point guard to the center. His jump shot is developing, and then on the break he's fantastic. On the fast break he can get you steals, rebounds, blocks, and on the break he fills the lane and it's a slam dunk. Julius Randle can pretty much go wherever he wants and fit in because of his defense abilities, his rebounding abilities, and his athletic ability. So that's a tough one. I mean, the Lakers probably need him to team up with Anthony Davis there, like they did in New Orleans there and then they have LeBron James. Wherever he goes, I'm not even sure. Landing spots, wherever he goes, he will make a difference. Julius Randle is a top talent, a top-notch talent. So, yeah, I mean, so what? I really wish he would just stay at New Orleans. I wish he would have just opted in for his 9.5 and then been a free agent next year. I thought that would have been the smarter thing to do. But somebody has told him that, look, don't opt into your $9.5 million deal. You're about to get a major deal. So
Right.
somebody is about to offer him, whether it's Philadelphia or somebody with some cap room, the Clippers. I'm not sure. Somebody's about to offer him a lot of money. I think that's what he's told. That's the only reason why you don't opt into 9.5 million,
Right.
because you're about to get more. You know what I mean? You're not gonna not opt into 9.5 million and then just sign like a $10 million deal here. So somebody has let him know that he's gonna be, in demand and he's gonna get a big deal from somewhere. And if Philadelphia would be a nice spot for him too, if they can't sign Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, man, Julius Randle playing next to Embiid would be nice. So there's all kind of landing spots for Julius Randle. He can go back. The Lakers, he should. Man, that I just mentioned that. But I wish he would just stay with Zion. I'd love to see that. But hey, the Eastern Conference too. The Eastern Conference, hey, if they don't get Durant and the Nets went in that direction and they got Kyrie Irving, I'd sign Julius Randle and just say the hell with Kevin Durant for next year. Because I think you put Julius Randle next to Josh Allen from UT, and that's a nice front line to go with Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie. I think the Nets would make a lot of noise there. I'm pretty high on Julius Randle. I don't know how many other people are that high on him, but I'm high on him. I was high on him when he came out of the draft. I thought he was a top 3 player, and then he went number 7th overall to the Lakers. I thought he should have went top 3. He's a good player. So anywhere he can go, yeah, he's gonna change. He's gonna change that team big time, and the things and the flexibility that he gives the team wherever he goes.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think he should stay
Yeah.
New Orleans. I think he is now kind of questioning his decision to opt out of that $9 million just a little bit because
Right.
he's seen what they did in the draft. They got 2 great pieces to go along what they already had, and they got more talent on the way. So I could definitely see him re-signing with them for maybe like a 12 or $13 million contract, maybe
Right.
a 2 year option with a 1 year guarantee, that type of thing, kind of like a KD type of situation. But as far as a landing spot, if it's not New Orleans, um, I, I think he wants to stay on the East Coast. He wants to be able to get into the playoffs. He wants to be able to win some games, and I like him going to the Hornets. If the Hornets are not going to keep Kemba, why not bring in a younger Kemba type of player? Julius, just like you said, he drives and shoots and does things very, 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 very well. And I would like to see him in Charlotte, actually. I think that would be a good fit for for him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, hey, but wherever he goes, he's going to change of that team and what they do. Like he's gonna fit in nicely, and they're going to be able to get up and down the court. He's a good shot blocker. He's athletic. 6'8", 6'9". I mean, he's the real deal. So, I and if he really wants his money and he stay on the East Coast, the Knicks will probably throw at him not max dollars, but they'll throw at him
Right.
big time money. So he might want to. Hey, Julius Randle might want to team up with R.J. Barrett if the Knicks don't get anybody.
Hmm.
And if the Knicks offered me max money or near max money and to team up with R.J. Barrett and Kevin Knox, I'd sign with the Knicks.
Do you think the Knicks are a piece away from being a playoff caliber team?
No, not with R.J. Barrett. They're still gonna. They're just a young up, and they'll miss the playoffs again this following year. Even if they were to get Julius Randle, golly, I mean, everything would have to go right for them even to make the playoffs. We'll see how good R.J. Barrett is.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big thing right there
I'm
because if
looking
R.J.
forward to
Barrett,
seeing if Kevin Knox grows any.
yeah, I mean, and then you got Julius Randle to that. I mean, they'd be a playoff team knocking on the door. That's possible.
Okay,
So
and then
yeah,
okay, and then the last player that I want to throw at you is another Golden State Warrior, DeMarcus Cousins. He hits free agency. Where would you like to see him go, and where do you think he's going to end up?
oh, he's another one. I wish he'd come to San Antonio for our $9.5 million exception. Hey, that'd be twice as much money as he made last year. Last year he made $5 million. So I wish Pop and RC could convince him to come to San Antonio for our whole mid-level exception for a year, so he can come back and be the player that he once was. I think the Spurs would do wonders in helping DeMarcus Cousins do that. He could go with LeBron, the Lakers. He can sign. I'll tell you right now, he's another one. If the Knicks crap out on this free agency, like some are predicting, DeMarcus Cousins could go be the man in New York and team up with R.J. Barrett. I mean, they're not going to win anything, but he'd get his money, you know. So there's a few landing spots for him to go. The Nets could offer him um, money. If the Nets strike out on Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeMarcus Cousins going to the Nets, that makes sense to me too. The Knicks make sense. A lot of playing with LeBron makes sense. Going to San Antonio makes the most sense to me. Maybe not money wise, but to get your career back in order and and go with a great organization. That Spurs make sense. But DeMarcus Cousins, it's funny thing is people were thinking, nobody's going to offer him anything, but they are going to offer him something.
Yeah.
He did play okay down the stretch there in the finals, and another year removed from his Achilles injury, more rehab this summer. I don't know if he'll go back to being the 26 points and 13 rebounds guy, but he's going to go back into being maybe like a 20-9 guy, 20-8 guy, and I think he can do that. And it just depends on what he wants to do in terms of his mindset. Like, if he wants the money, I think the Knicks will offer it to him. I really do. If he just wants to take the money, I don't think it'll be max, but it'll be close. It'll be like the max is a 4-year, $164 million deal. I think the Knicks would maybe do him like a 4-year, $100 million deal. That's all. That's like a little bit less than the max, but I would take that if I was DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
I would.
The one thing that I would have to ask him is, are you in it to win a championship or are you in it to make cash? At the end of the day, you are a millionaire.
Yeah.
You have more money than you know what to do with, whether you sign for $13 million or $100 million. That's still a life-changing amount of money. So you have to get in his mind, and does he want a ring or does he want cash? And he went to Golden State because he wants a ring, and I think he still wants a ring. So I think he is going to go to LA, team up with AD again, do great things like they did in New Orleans. And you are right. Like, he will not average his 26 points a game again. I think even 20 points is a stretch. I see him doing like a 15-10 type of year, and that is exactly what LA needs. They need a guy to get in there to give them 20-25 good hard minutes when AD and LeBron need a break. And it would make sense because Boogie Cousins and AD both played their best when they were together, and why not do that in LA, win a championship,
Right.
and
Well,
pretty much solidify your career.
right. The 20 points and 10 rebounds I was talking about would be like if he signed with the Knicks.
Right.
Right. But yeah, you're right. If he goes with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, he's in that 15 points per game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, obviously, I don't know him on a personal level. I never talked to him. I never interviewed him. But you hear all these ex-athletes saying, I really wish I could have had that ring. I really wish I could have had that ring." And I think he is in that mindset because off of his Achilles and then his quad injury, he is obviously injury prone. So it's just a matter of time before his career's over. So win a ring now.
I'll be honest with you though. No, I mean I wouldn't. If I'm DeMarcus Cousins, I'm usually the guy that's about winning the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Knicks called me and said 4 years, 120 million, bye ring.
Right.
No, I already tasted it.
Well, if KD is going there,
I haven't. He hasn't signed that big deal yet. That
right.
Humongous. And where he had said last year that the Pelicans didn't offer him, but we found out he lied.
Right.
The Pelicans came out and Alvin Gentry came out and said they offered him a 2-year, $40 million deal, even after he tore his Achilles and he turned it down.
So does that tell you he's looking for? Well, do you think that tells you that he's looking for a championship though? If you turn down, I think that
tells you. I think that tells you he's stupid.
He's stupid. Yeah.
I think he's stupid. That's right. Stupid. The hell with the ring. I'm 20. I have an Achilles injury, man. Listen, when I'm 50 something years old, I'd rather count $40 million on my counter than look at a ring. See, I mean, I haven't made that money.
I hear what you're saying.
He hasn't made that, Michael. He hasn't made that money. He can't be like Kevin Durant and go, oh, I've got $300 million in the bank. I'll chase the ring now. You know what I mean?
Right.
He hasn't made that money yet. So like Julius Randle, you might say, oh, Julius Randle's not going to chase the ring. Julius Randle hasn't gotten that giant contract yet. If the Knicks, if Toronto offered, listen, I'll just give you an example. If Toronto offered their $9 million exception to Julius Randle, and the Knicks offered Julius Randle $120 million, unless he's the dumbest ass in captivity, he's not going to Toronto. He's gonna go get his money. You got to go get your money first. You should not be a ring chaser until you're in your 30s and you've already made a crap load of money. DeMarcus Cousins and Julius Randle are not in that position yet. They haven't signed for the $150 million contract yet. So no, I'm getting that first. I'm gonna sign with the Knicks first and the Nets and get my money.
On the other hand, though, the Lakers do have some cap room to sign two max.
Oh, if you can do both
players, but
the ultimate is doing both.
Right.
Can you imagine going to a contender and that contender's offering you $100 million?
Yeah.
Then that's right. Yeah. But usually it's not both. You have to choose.
So you think he's going to New York?
If the Knicks offer him a lot of money, yes, absolutely he'll go to New York. But if he doesn't have any takers out there, like if there's nobody offering him a lot of money, then he will sign like with the $9 million exception with Golden State or with San Antonio or with the Lakers or stuff like that. He will sign like a little $10 million 1-year deal or something like that.
So let me recap this episode here for you guys. Marcus wants everybody to go to San Antonio for $3 million.
Yes. $9
million. There they go.
Nine.
There you go.
And then, real quick, you see the breaking news: Masai Ujiri's going to stay with Toronto.
Oh, I did not.
He's not going to take that Washington deal. So that tells me that Kawhi Leonard, that's putting pressure on Kawhi Leonard to stay at least for one more year, to sign that 2-year, whatever, $60, $70 million deal, and see if they run it back and see if they can win this whole thing again next year.
If Kawhi stays in Toronto, do you circle them into the finals?
Yes. Well, it depends on if Oladipo's coming back and if Indiana can bring everybody back. That's a huge one for me. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to use probably going to lose Darren Collison, and I don't think that's a big deal because you guys drafted Aaron Holiday with a first-round pick last year. Aaron Holiday, you don't just spend a first-round pick and don't think he's going to be in your future. Aaron Holiday and Corey Joseph will man the point guard for Indiana. I think even if they let Darren Collison walk. Oladipo coming back with the team that they have, could challenge Toronto. If Philadelphia brings all their people back, they could challenge Toronto. Milwaukee's going to challenge Toronto. But I would make Toronto, to answer your question, I would still make Toronto the favorite because of Kawhi Leonard resting, getting that few months off to rest.
I mean, like, this is the first NBA season that I've looked forward to coming up. So KD has made NBA miserable for the last 5 or 6 years, or 3 or 4 years. Like I
Yeah,
just
three
said,
years. Yeah, it's
and
miserable.
like
Compared.
now it's exciting again. Now we
Yeah,
don't know. It could be the Hawks make it to the Eastern
yeah.
Conference or finals. Like we just don't know. So it's pretty
No,
exciting stuff. So
you're right. You're right. I mean,
yeah,
people might go, the Hawks. What is he talking about, dude? Are you kidding me? Like the
they
Hawks
were
are the
only
real
three
deal,
games out
man.
of that 8 seed, guys.
They're an up and coming team. I mean, they have some really good young talent. You just never know what can happen in this league. Like I still pick Toronto and the team with some veteran players, but you just never know.
Right. I mean, so guys, that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow, free agency starts to kick off or ramp up even more. We figure out what Kawhi is going to do. I believe it's by tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time is his cutoff date. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that is
Well,
what I
I
saw.
think no, they have until like this weekend to just like to start deciding. But every day we start hearing something. Like we just heard Masai Ujiri is staying. So like in other words, every day there's news that comes out every single day leading up to this. Yeah.
Yeah, and the NFL season is getting a little bit closer, guys.
Oh.
So once July hits, we are going to hit an NFL team each day until we get all 32 teams. We're going to pick playoffs and Super Bowl champions. So all preseason picks. But guys, that's coming in July. But tune in tomorrow, same time, same location. Myself and Marcus, we're having fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you later, guys.
Bye.